Hi everyone, this is a quick recording to review how to write a major pentachord scale using accidentals. And if you want to follow along, you can go to the textbook page 116 and 117. I'm just going over the steps here of what you need to do to build a major pentachord scale. The major pentachord scale is the first 5 notes of the major scale, and they are do, re, mi, fa, and sol. And you would do this, you would find out what the notes are of the scale by looking at the intervals between each note. They're either whole steps or half steps, and there's the specific pattern that you need to follow. Okay, so on page 116, for example, the first step is to write the solfege syllables beneath the staff to remind you what they are. So right now that's what I did. I wrote down D, R, M, F, and S, which stands for do, re, mi, fa, sol. The duration or the note types that you use for this exercise doesn't matter. We're not writing a rhythm. We're simply writing the notes. So you can use half notes, whole notes, quarter notes, whatever you want. Go nuts. Okay. But this time we're going to use quarter notes. Okay. The second step, it says to place a note on a staff directly above each solfege syllable. And this example, we're starting with the note D. So I will start with D and go up the scale. Okay. And a reminder, the first procedure is to remember the sequential alphabetical spelling of scales and then simply put the notes in order. Okay. So if we start on D, then the scale would go from D, E, F, G to A. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to add a D, an octave lower, and then E, F, G, and A. Okay, so those are just the regular notes from the alphabet. Again, I'm starting on D because that's what I'm trying to write right now. If you are writing another scale starting on another note, that's what you would start on. But right now we're starting on D. So D, E, F, G, A. Step 3, we're going to mark the half step between scale degrees 3 and 4 and their corresponding pitches on the staff. Remember, the intervals between the other degrees will be whole steps. But this particular instance between 3 and 4, that's a half step. Okay. So, by the way, scale degrees is just another way of talking about how we number the scales from 1 to whichever number, however many notes there are in the scale. But the first note of the scale will always be 1, and then you just go up the alphabet. So in this case, do is scale degree 1, re is scale degree 2, mi is scale degree 3, fa is scale degree 4, and sol is scale degree 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just really just another way of naming the notes. The same thing as you would with do, re, mi, fa, sol. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Okay. Back to the task at hand. And number 3, we're marking the half step between scale degrees 3 and 4 with a slur. Okay. So it's just a little I don't know, a smiley face. Right. So here it is. Okay. That's a slur between mi and fa, okay? And that reminds us that the interval between these two notes has to be a half step. The other intervals will be a whole step, okay? Next, in step 4, we're checking the intervallic relationship between the solfege syllables and the pitch names to ensure the correct intervallic distance between the notes. In other words, I'm checking from one note to the next to see what if it's either a whole step or a half step, okay? And again, remember, the only half step that we should have is between mi and fa, okay? So let's begin. This is a D, and this is an E. And you know where they are in the keyboard by now because of our drills in Unit 1, okay? And these two notes, as you can see, are a whole step apart because it consists of 2 half steps. D to D sharp is a half step, and then D sharp to E is a half step. So D to E is a whole step. That is indeed what we need, so we can move on. From re to mi, you can see that these two notes are a half step apart. They're adjacent. Okay. So in order to make this a whole step, because again, that's what we need here between re and mi, okay, I'm going to add a sharp to this F. Okay. So now we have E to F sharp, which is a whole step. That's what I need. Okay. Next, from F sharp to G, that is a half step. They're adjacent to each other, right? And that's actually what we need. Remember, there's a half step between scale degrees 3 and 4, between mi and fa. And that's why we put the slur there to remind us, okay? So now, because we made that F sharp, now that fits the pattern. Okay, finally, from G to A, it's a whole step. right? And that is what we need. We need a whole step between fa and sol. Okay, so there you have it. That is the major pentachord scale starting on D. Do, re, mi, fa, sol. Okay, so that's a quick review on the major pentachord scale.